This is the valve body assembly. It's 4 units that need to be taken apart and dealt with individually. The first one to come off is this one. There's 2 different names for it. I can't remember exactly. One's overrun clutch control or something like that, and the other name I can't remember. Screws come out of here. This comes off, but it's got a check ball in it, so I have to flip it over the other way so the check ball doesn't fall out. He's out now. I can't find the check ball. I can't see where it is in there, so may have to turn it upside down into a pan and see if it falls out that way. So now we're down to 3 units left over here. Now I gotta go to the manual and find out what I'm supposed to do next. The check ball I mentioned is non-existent because it was eliminated for 58. So I was reading 57 manual. The supplement says that the ball is not there anymore. I went and found that it's called the coupling valve body. I forgot the name again already. These screws here come out to remove the shift valve body. This is the shift valve body. The longest 2 of the screws are one length, and there's a longer screw. That's the one that's at the top of the unit. Well, actually, it's the bottom. This one here. This guy here is called the channel plate. I'm trying to see if it's going to be obvious which direction it goes, but well, yeah, because this guy here clearly will line up. That shape will line up with the same shape. Well, slightly bigger shape in the lower portion. Next up is to remove the reverse blocker assembly. That does exactly what its name says. It blocks the transmission from trying to go into reverse if you put the shifter into reverse, go over about 10 miles an hour. Because going in reverse at that point could be a problem. It's just these 2 screws here that hold the reverse blocker. Appears there's on the manual that they've removed these 5 screws to get the manual valve body off. This one was not shown as being removed, but we'll see. Turned out it was necessary to remove this long middle screw to remove the manual valve body. So that leaves this other plate here. There's this other plate here. This is where the manual valve body attaches. So this plate cleaned up, and then below here is the, I don't know the name of this yet, but it's just the main body. Body's probably the wrong word since these other guys are all called bodies, but there's supposed to be 4 of them. But whatever it's called, this is the main central unit of the whole assembly. This is the disassembled and cleaned up reverse blocker body. Supposed to do these individually so you don't confuse parts, so it being the simplest the 4, and I like seeing progress, so I decided to do it first. So the reverse blocker body is all rebuilt. All it needs is to wait until the manual body is rebuilt and the main unit, the main section is cleaned up, so we can reinstall both of those on it. And the screws are there. First thing we do is disassemble the manual valve bodies to pull this manual valve out. I believe this is called the manual valve because that's what moves when you pull the shifter. I'm not 100% sure of that, but it makes sense. And the TV lever comes off. That's how the throttle affects the transmission. When you push the gas pedal down, that lever moves somehow and affects the oil flow in the transmission. All cleaned up now. Manual valve body. And here we see reverse and line there. I think line just means that's where oil comes in from the pump, but I don't know for that for sure. There's a low. So the main valve moves as the shifter moves. The manual valve, that's how I understand it. First thing that's going to go in is the throttle valve. So that regulates something based on the position of the throttle. So the throttle valve is most of the way in. It's supposed to go all the way to the end, but as the other components go in, I guess that will go the rest of the way. And then it went in a spring, so as you let go of the throttle, it is able to return. And then this detent pin, it's called, goes in next. Alright, so the manual body's back together. A little concerned, not about the manual valve here, but this pin doesn't go all the way in. I'm gonna have to check my videos to make sure that that's still correct. Alright, now ready to start reassembling. This is called a channel body. Found out what that's called. The main thing, the main central unit is called the channel body. So this plate goes on first. Then on top of that goes the manual valve body. And we have those screws over there. So I'll put them down. And just gotta tighten those screws down and the manual valve's done. And then over there we'll go back on the reverse blocker body. Now ready to put the reverse blocker on. It goes underneath this side. This pin comes through this hole and then the screws come in from underneath. So now the reverse blocker is installed. So that's all I can put back together now because I still have to rebuild the other two bodies. Well, the valve bodies are all back together now. Reverse blocker there, manual body there. Then we have our shift body here, and finally controller body there.